Ever since I was a little baby, I loved playing video games. I remember being in long road trips and I just always asked my grandparents if I could play on their phones. My go-to games were always Angry Birds and Temple Run, so I thought, why not try to make those realistic? I mean, yeah, why don't I make this beloved game into something super cursed? So let's get on with it and put our own spin onto our favorite mobile games. So I started this off here just by using the pen tool and masking out the shape of the Angry Bird, and then I used this pelican and yeah, I put it in there, but it doesn't look good, I'm not gonna lie. And I kept putting in pelicans to fill up this whole little red blob that I made. Then I cut out a shape of these two hairs on the top of his head, and I just filled those with that same pelican. Then I added shadows to it to give it some type of shape, and yeah, it actually worked. I also gave some shadows to the bottom and the sides of the big blob just to add some roundness to it. I used this black feather to try to create those little black tail bits, and then I actually started making the thing red, which made it all come together and gave me a little bit of hope, I'm not gonna lie. Then I used this eyeball, and I just plopped that thing down right in place. To try to fix those derpy eyeballs, I just took the eyeball away and I moved it. I used those same tail feathers to add the eyebrows in, but I realized it wasn't going to look good until I added shadows, so I just added so many shadows to the eyeballs and the eyebrows until it actually looked good. I made the eyeballs black just to try to match the original image, and let's just take a second to understand how stupid this looks. I mean, what the heck is this? I went on to cutting out this eagle's beak to use as the mouth, which actually turned out pretty well. I took that beak and I just plopped that thing right down under his eyeballs, just like this. And yeah, that didn't look good, I know. I tried to warp this thing into shape for so long, but it really just did not end up looking good. I finally got the beak into some shape that I somewhat liked, and I made it a little bit red so it would blend into the body. I also added these little spots. I don't even know what you call them. Like, what are these supposed to be? But it ended up adding a little bit of sophistication into it, so I like it. And after a super long time of trying to get these little circles and all these shadows to look even a little bit right, I finally ended up getting something that I kind of like. So I added in this comic blue striped background like the original logo has. And after a painful 2 hours of work, I finally get to change my favorite game as a little kid into something more realistic, kinda. And I now present to you guys Angry Birds, but realistic. Okay, so I know that this might be a little dumb. Okay, never mind. This is super dumb. Let's just move on to the next one. Temple Run is an endless runner game that fascinated almost every kid about 10 years ago, myself included. Going off the gold colors with the original Temple Run logo, I'm going to try to give it a new light using Photoshop. First of all, I had to put in the original logo because obviously I can't just remember it from my brain. So then I started tracing out the main shape of the logo with the pen tool, and I filled that with this golden color, which was just going to serve as the base for it. Then I traced all of the other shapes, which took way too long, but I had to do it. I put a gold trim around the base of the logo, and I also put it on the hands, as well as the nose, and the eyes, and the mouth, and the lips. When I put these shadows on the nose, it was so realistic that I thought it was real. I mean, can you tell a difference? I can't. I also put shadows on the little nose thing under the nose, and I also put shadows on all the layers of the eyes as well. After I put these shadows under the lips, I put them on the hands, fingers? What is that?
What is that?
I rounded out the rim of the logo just by adding some darker areas to create some contrast, and because I was stupid, I forgot to add teeth, so I had to add the teeth. So I just drew all of those in using a hard, round brush, which actually didn't take too long. I then added a gold texture to those teeth as well, Shadows really helped the teeth actually look realistic and gave it a little bit of dimension. I then took this gold texture and I placed it over the entire thing, and I just put it in the spots that I really needed it, just like this, over the eyes a little bit. I then just added in a bunch of final detail just to make sure this logo was as clean and pristine as I could get it. But I think it actually turned out pretty good, so... Now that it's done, it might be time to ruin your day with my version of the Temple Run logo. If you guys would like more of this content, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed and maybe shared it to a friend. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.